Top teachers they got? You run the school? That's it.
It's kind of crazy.
So, Motown CrossFit, my name is Woodley. I'm a coach at Motown. Family owned, ran business small. This is Stevie. He's the head coach down there, and my brother Eric. So we're here today, basically, you know, to first off, just to give you thanks for the opportunity. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you letting us come by. I know your time's valuable. As you know, Eric works in the school systems. He is married to someone that's worked in the school system for many years. So
I definitely witnessed that anybody that works in the school system don't take care of themselves. You take care of everybody else. Take care of Mr. Sane, making sure that he's happy. Taking care of the kids, everybody else, but you're last. And man, it don't work that way. A person told me years ago, you gotta take care of yourself before you take care of somebody else. Eventually, it's gonna backfire. I think that's why we're here.
Knowing that, I mean, most teachers have passion about helping kids, and and to be able to keep that passion and work that magic, we want you to be 100%. So as working in the medical field, I used to have this conversation with patients all the time, where they would come in and the husband or wife would want to take their significant other home. They're like, hey, I'll take them home, I can take care of them. I'm like, I don't know if you can take care of yourself right now. You're kind of having trouble doing that. So it's going to be hard for you to take care of them, right? We got to get you at 100% so you can, take care of your others. So it's kind of the same type deal here, just throughout life, just trying to make sure if you can get to that 100% or stay, around there, you can, give that passion back and do your job. And it's the future, for us, our kids, and everything. I know it's a lot. So, CrossFit. So, what is CrossFit? Anybody have an idea? Anybody know anything about CrossFit? Anybody heard of CrossFit? Googled it? Social media, see anything? CrossFit? So, I mean, if you do, there is a perception there. If you Google it, if you look at it on social media, you're going to see these Greek goddess hero, looking people swinging from bars and climbing ropes and throwing weight around. That's not exactly what CrossFit is, okay? There's a sports side of things. They have created a sport where you have professional athletes. Yes, there's a very small thing in our gym that we can help athletes. That's not exactly what CrossFit's about, and that's not what we're really into it for. Okay, that's not even why we got into it. CrossFit, constantly varied, high intensity functional movements. All right, that's what it is. That's the definition of CrossFit. Really stressed on the variable part and the high intensity, and then looking at functional movement. So, as a physical therapy assistant, that's kind of my jam with working with patients through the years of looking at being creative, making it functional. So, and then looking in the gym at some of the things we do, kicking up weight or getting a burpee. That's a big movement in CrossFit. Everybody hates burpees, right? Getting down and getting up, getting out of the floor. Okay, so it's functional. It is functional. Okay. So let me give you a couple things here, a couple of interesting facts. All right. About 50% of the population in America is obese. All right, 50%. About 40% of America's population's got some kind of chronic disease going on. Something. Okay. Stroke, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, diabetes, something. Okay. Etc. On and on and on. 1 in 10 every 10 will have diabetes. Of that number, 95% today is type 2. Okay? Type 2 is the one that's created, you're not born with. Alright?
So, Woodley works, yeah, he probably he works with home health agency. So, he recruits, tell him what to do with marketing.
I'm basically an account manager, marketing, sales rep for the largest home health company in America.
You went to a meeting, like a nationwide meeting, and they're planning to hire in the next, what is it?
By 2025,
Like 2 years, they're gonna hire how many nurses?
500,000 nurses.
So,
Don't listen to that.
they're hiring, if their agency's planning, this is just one, if their agency's planning to hire, a home health agency is planning to hire 500,000 nurses, what do you think that means?
Everybody's getting sicker.
That means people are going, they're gonna need home health. They're gonna need home health. 70, all right, so I'm just gonna butt in for a minute. Well, sorry, 70% of deaths last year were from chronic disease, and that's what we was talking about. Chronic disease is diabetes, stroke, your heart disease, everything. 70% of deaths in America last year were from chronic disease. And so, the thing is, and I'm not going to ruffle any feathers, but like maybe 2% ago in the last 3 years. So put that back. 70% of deaths was chronic disease. If you go to your doctor, they can't treat it. They can't treat chronic disease. There's nothing they can do. They can treat the symptom. If you got high blood pressure, you're moving towards chronic disease. They can treat the blood pressure. They can't treat diabetes. You know what I mean? They can't fix it, is what I'm saying. There's only one thing that can fix it. Well, no, combination.
Another interesting fact. So that same home health company that's projected goal is to hire 500,000 nurses. They have a cardiopulmonary program. So they have a CDP program. This is a big program that they use, and it works wonders. It does really good with the home health community. Okay. They're taking diabetes out of that program. They're creating a separate program specifically for diabetes. Hundreds of thousands of dollars put into this program because all the nurses have to be certified. You gotta get these CEUs, they gotta go through these courses. All this money has to be spent to create, we already have, right? We already have that program. CDP, what are you doing? So this corporate projections, they see where diabetes is so prominent, it's progressing so much that they're creating another whole program for that. That's a scary fact. So with that being said, yeah, let's make some changes.
So like, I'm thinking like, okay, so how do we change? Who makes this change? I just said like, your doctor can't fix you. How can you, if you got diabetes or you're moving in that direction, who makes those changes? It's not the doctor. It's not. It's you. And you're like, man, how do I do that? How do I fix it? So we work, well, you're in the sick, if your doctor can't fix it, if you have those symptoms, high blood pressure, A1C, triglycerides.
Right, that 50% of the population or that 40% that has chronic disease, you're gonna be on this side of the spectrum, okay? You're gonna be over here toward the sick, all right? And what we do in CrossFit, you know, our goal is to push you more toward the well, okay? And that comes with the constantly varied high intensity functional movements, along with maybe some nutritional adjustments, okay? And we're pushing you toward the well part.
We've got like 3 quick case studies to show you how to fix it.
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
So one case study, all right? We're just going to use examples, okay? So have this first one, we talked about the sports side of things. It is with CrossFit, okay? So have a young 24-year-old female, athletic, 5'4", about 145 pounds, okay? So that's going to be one of the case studies for us, all right? 35-year-old male, about 6 foot, 240 pounds, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Blood pressure is about 155 over 100. He's taking meds. Okay. Third one is a 38-year-old male. Just had a fall. He fell from about 40 to 50 feet. Got a fractured neck, fractured back, smashed ankle. Over the very short time period after that, he's going to decrease in weight. He's not moving, he's laying around, he's in the bed. He went from about 175-ish down to probably about 155. Okay. Muscles are atrophied, getting weak. Fourth one, got a 34-year-old male, 230-ish pounds, about 5'8", type 2 diabetic, currently on insulin. A1C is 9.1, cholesterol is 181. Okay, so that'll be 4 case studies, and that's like some of the things that we look at CrossFit. At Motown CrossFit, that's our focus. We do still do the athletic side of things, okay? Don't get me wrong, all right? But those last 3 is a big focus of ours, all right? So how do these 3 like move through this here, okay? You know, how do we work on toward getting well? You know, getting out of being sick, moving from being, you know, a diabetic or their blood pressure or their,
Is your magic pill? I got it. It's easy. 2 things. Let's see. Number one is nutrition. Nutrition. You do that, it gets you almost to the 5-yard line. But most people are like, how do I do that? What I do? And it's a bear. But come see us, we'll help you with it. What's the next one?
Movement.
Move. Those are the 2 things. You move well, nutrition, you will move through this continuum. Those 4 case studies, wherever they're at on them. You come sick, that one 5'8", or the one that was, what was it, 6 foot, 240?
6 foot, 240.
High blood pressure, high cholesterol. He's got some issues. He's moving, he's on the sick side of life. COVID hit, he's looking at being in some trouble, okay? There's an uncontrollable event, he's in some trouble, all right? But with nutrition, movement, and the biggest one, another one with this, we added this, is consistent. Spell it right.
That would be my main one.
Consistent. You can't just do it today, you gotta do it tomorrow, you gotta do it the next day, you gotta do it through life. It's a life thing. But with those 3 things, and that's 240 can move across this continuum. He can get well. He can move the fit over time. How to do that? I mean, some people may need help with it, some people don't. I don't know. I mean, you work at a home, that's one thing. I mean, we know how. We've done it for years. We see it. It works. We got people in our gyms. They're moving. We got people that work in your schools. They've changed. Like, what was the guy? What was his number 4?
Says change what? Is A1C?
Yes. He changed his A1C. He's no longer.
Yeah. He's changed it all.
Yeah. His weight's down.
Weight's way down.
Sure. A1C's down.
Yeah.
He's not. His doctor's not gonna put him on meds. When he came to us, he was year. Now he's about right here. Hopefully he'll get to well over time.
Yeah, it's like looking at, so our healthcare system, so it's called healthcare, right? So my perspective, and I work in it, but it's really sick care, right? Sick care. You go and they manage the disease that you have, right? And then give you a pill, okay? So we CrossFit and Done Right at Motown, we know we have a prescription. It's not a pill, but it is a prescription, all right? It's prescribed. There's a methodology to this, okay? It's not just that we're not drawing things out of a hat each day and say, hey, this is what you should do, okay? There's a methodology that came up with the founder of this that works, all right? So with that prescription, and it's prescribed at, different, it's variable, okay? So your athlete that's really coming in there and saying, hey, I want to run fast, jump higher, I want to, be a better athlete, they're going to have a different prescription than someone that comes to us and says, hey, I need to get my A1C down, I'm overweight, I want to feel better, all right? Their prescription is going to be a little different, all right? But, just thinking about that healthcare system, I feel like that's more so what we do in anything, because we're trying to manage this, and we're trying to prevent, So thinking about that, like he said, if you do this, you will work yourself this way on the perspective, and then put yourself in a better position to where something does happen, all right? You get pneumonia, you get COVID, whatever. You go this way, but you're still not so bad, right? You're still up here around the wheel because you've done so much to get yourself over here. Whereas if you are over here, high blood pressure, cholesterol high, when you get that pneumonia, you get that flu, it works yourself this way, it's tougher for you to respond, all right? So
Your fitness, what you put in every day for the last month, year, however long you worked on it, it's the hedge against the sickness. That's the hedge. That's what puts you in a position to survive it. Like I said, 70% of deaths last year were chronic disease. When you think about the other 30, that's your car wrecks and your bad luck stuff. I almost needed a doctor this morning because of a head-on collision. Now I need the miracle worker. I need the doctor to save my life. Okay, I have to take control of my life right now to prevent the chronic disease. The doctor can't do that, but he can save me if I'm in a car wreck. Okay, that's different. We're saving ourselves right now with your wellness. Just a thought.
So let's look back, all right? So let's look back at these case studies, all right? So she was, the first one, she was 24 years old. Now she's 33 years old. She's still 5'4", improving. She's about 165 pounds, about 13% body fat, coming at a college athlete, okay, at 24. She is now fitter than she's ever been in her life. Stronger, faster, jump higher. The best cardiovascular system she's ever had. And she's had 2 kids. That's Stevie. That's Stevie. Okay. Number 2, you have the 44-year-old. Actually, at the time, they were not. Let's see here. At the time, how old were we? I don't know,
36, 38, 35.
35-year-old. Number 2, 35-year-old. Like 240 pounds, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's one of the things, the reason we got into this, okay? It's Eric. All right. He's about 185 pounds now. His blood pressure was 155 over 100, so probably about 110 over 80 now. Somewhere around in there. Okay.
I was on like 5 different medications. Had eczema on my skin real bad. Was dealing with like chronic infection somewhere in my system. I don't know what was going on. So the crazy thing is as my markers change, my blood pressure changes, my weight changes, my fitness changes, everything else changes. progression changed. Everything else in my life changed. I'm definitely able to deal with my wife now. Job to deal with a lot easier because I've gotten a little fitter. Okay.
The third one was a 38-year-old. He fell off a roof. Okay. This was just back in 2021. He fell from about 40, 50 foot off a roof. He is a roofer. He is a member at our gym. His name is Bradley Chapman. Okay.
He's a fit dude too. I mean, he was already fit.
For sure. But he was projected coming out of that to probably be around a year to get back on his feet and do some things. Okay. He came back to our gym. Let's see, October was when he fell. He was back in our gym in February. He wasn't going crazy. We had that different prescription, right? I gave him a prescription that's a lot different. All right? But he was in the gym and he was moving. And today,
His gait looked like this.
oh yeah, decreased range of motion, couldn't hardly walk good.
Back was jacked up.
He's climbing the ropes, jumping boxes, running, throwing weight around. He's back to rolling again. Okay. And then the last one was probably, this is my most exciting one as a gym owner, as a coach, not even a gym owner, okay, as a coach. 34-year-old high A1C, he's now 35, okay? He started our gym January 31st last year, all right? He still 5 foot 4-ish. He was 230 pounds or so. He weighed 199 pounds for the first time in 20 years. His A1C went from 9.1 to 6.5. If you know anything about that, that's huge. They don't check your A1C but every 3 months pretty much because it don't really move that fast. All right? So that's humongous. All right? His cholesterol was 181. It dropped almost 100 points. He's at 82.2. Phenomenal. All right? If he stays on track, this coming year, there's a possibility he quit taking insulin. He'll change his genetic code, which is, for me, that's my jam. You know, that's what we look forward to, and you know, that's really awesome because with all those numbers, you know, the diabetics and the progression of the disease coming along, knowing that, you know, maybe, you know, we can help and do something about it ourselves, and knowing that we do, you know, have a prescription at Motown CrossFit for you, it's just driving me more and more to get out and try to promote it, because that's what we do it, and that's what we do it for. All right. Even though, don't get me wrong, you know, this is my better half. She's good at what she does. She's a professional athlete. She's in the lesser 1% of the world in CrossFit as an athlete. You know, she's really good. That's not exactly what we're all about, though. I know that perception's there because I know we have people that come in and it's like, man, I would have never came in here if so-and-so wouldn't have brought me over here and held my hand like me. I would have never come in here because I've seen it online. Well, you know, I've seen so-and-so work out. Seen Stevie doing something online. I ain't doing that. All right. It's not all about that. Okay. There's different prescriptions. There's different for each. It's variable. Okay. So with that being said, you know, if any of that sounds like it's interesting to you, if you have any more questions, come and see us. Your first class is free. All you gotta do is get in the door, sign a waiver, have Stevie come help you in the door, whatever. But just come and see us. Again, we appreciate your time. Thanks for having us. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'll ask about nutrition. Does intermittent fasting work?
I would say,
I would say 100%.
yeah, my opinion, my thoughts, 100%.
I'd do it.
Even without exercise or minimal exercise?
Anything you can do to help dial in your nutrition is gonna work. That's just it. Hey, listen, if you don't come see it, that's fine. Whatever you can do to work on this every day and do this and work through this, you're gonna change your life. We just know how to do it.
We could go down a rabbit hole
Yeah.
and talk for a really long time.
Yeah.
But,
I just want to know if it worked but you have to eat the right food, John.
it's a process and it has to be done right. And there's a bunch of different little tricks to the trade and stuff with it. But we are definitely we're not nutritionists.
No,
Alright.
I can tell you how to eat right now. 2 things. Have it had eyes, or did it grow out of the ground? If you're eating those 2 things, you're doing it right. And don't eat too much. All right, that's all you need to know. Did it have eyes, or did it grow out of the ground? Don't eat too much. Simple as that. Don't think about anything else.
Questions? Anybody else?
Well, chips are going in the shred.
Look, hey, ain't no judgment, guys. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, there ain't no judgment here. People think we're judging. We are not. Listen, I went to Miami with her this weekend. It was a CrossFit competition. I ate some chips. But this is not food. This is made in the lab. This is not food. This is to sell. This is makes money.
Looking at, and just bringing that up, another kind of interesting fact about that. I had a conversation actually today with our leader of the CDP program in Western North Carolina, and he just went to a diabetic conference. All right. So now, one of the biggest things for them is not the hammer that it used to be, but actually looking at decreasing the caloric intake. All right. So now, not going to the person and saying, look, you're eating all the wrong stuff. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of it is wrong. Like, you need to change. But if we can't do that, there's no way to change it. Now let's try to figure out a way to do something with it. So it's going to be decreasing. You only get basically like macros. So you only get a little bit of portions of this. Just don't eat too much if you do eat that. So that's interesting. But thank you.
Thank you.
you.
You feel a little sweaty if you come in this teaching. It's kind of rough, but 6 a.m. is a great.
100%. I think he may have the itch. If he stays there, he's going to be on one of the case studies. Dylan's moving well. He's moving well.
Trying to figure out if you can grow back hair.
Dylan, everything gets better. Everything gets better. You never know. You never know.
Then you have to go start seeing Tom.
Yeah. Well, then
I've done that for 40 years. That's rough.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Philip Price, you've got 10 minutes. Can you do it?